There we go. There's the sign for Riverfield, the Riverfield section of the South Branch Reservation. And this is a trail, narrow right-of-way here. We put this trail in. I worked for Hunterdon County Parks when this went in. It it went in 2010. August of 2010 was the opening for it. Worked on it as my job, but also as a volunteer the last day that we got it open. We've got some solar farms here. Now, a lot of you might not like to hear about some of it, but I'll actually start with the solar thing here. A giant parking lot over here. Why couldn't it have just gone in over the parking lot? Or for that matter, on the roof of that building? Solar is not a bad thing, but why are we taking places out of agriculture and putting them there? Why are we disturbing land like this and putting it there? Especially when we have critical watersheds here. Now, the South Branch Reservation is a great thing because it protects the important watershed of the Raritan, which there's so many reasons to protect all of this. One of them being the fact that it serves as a major drinking water supply. There's a Jersey City uses some of it. But then on top of that, we're looking at flooding issues. If you live in the Bound Brook area, anywhere out in Somerset County area there, and out towards New Brunswick, you get some major flooding. Really, really bad flooding. And building out in these watersheds is a terrible thing. Now we're going to head down over here into the trail, which cuts over this way. But this is pretty nice here. But there's a big concern here. So the trail goes over this way, but all this in here is getting developed. It is all going to be affordable housing. And this isn't something that might not happen. It's already approved. It's happening. There is going to be, how many units are going in here?
Well, I believe it's a number of units that was approved by Clinton Township. Reference to settlement from the Fair Share Housing Center and the township.
This is Bill Honishevsky, by the way, good friend from way back, and he is another concerned resident over here. We also have to stress too that the township did not really have a choice in this either. Affordable housing is being forced down their throats. The COA no longer really exists, and now it's this Fair Share group. And what's happening now that we're seeing all over the place is they're trying to make it sound like this wonderful thing they're doing by providing affordable housing, which of course is a noble cause, but it seems like it's more just developers under the guise of that, because now it has to happen right away, and they're making these exemptions to these watershed lands. We're right down into the floodplain of the South Branch, and most of that land over there is as well. Even if it's not right in the floodplain, it's a major runoff spot to a critical watershed. We've got problems already with harmful algae blooms and such that keep Spruce Run closed. Flows into this just up here. We've got a major cocktail of all sorts of contaminants coming into this watershed here. Just to the north of here, along the major tributary Spruce Run, over 3 miles of Route 31 is alongside of it. And with that, you get all the salt and any other vehicle runoff that comes with that. Additionally, you have developments and homes and stuff that have been here over 50 years. So you have antiquated septic systems and cesspools that are failing and leaching into the watershed. The price tag that comes with a replacement septic system is very hefty, and nobody can really afford that kind of thing anymore. If that weren't enough, just to the west, you also have agricultural runoff. Adding to that cocktail, you have got development and all the runoff associated with that. You've even got acid mine runoff coming out of the old abandoned iron mines on the slopes of the Musconetcong Mountain just to the north. if you were to go along Norton Church Road above the reservoir, you can see orange water flowing right along the edge of the road in the trenches there. That's all sulfur seepage from the old iron mines. So all of this stuff comes into play. You know, you even have a quarry that's in Glen Gardner, right in the watershed. So you get all sorts of heavy silts and stuff that come out of the quarry breakers. And a degree of that is unavoidable. So there's this huge cocktail of stuff that's coming into the rivers, and we're just going to add to it. So where this is a beautiful park property today, which we can't really go any further on right now because it's getting flooded. This is kind of an island in the South Branch that it goes through. When we put this trail in, there was actually boardwalks and such that you can go through to get across this, but they've clearly washed out. So anyway, what they're going to build up is right over here. So we have a serious problem with our watersheds. I am not against affordable housing by any means. I'm totally for it. We need that, especially today when people are really struggling to get by. I actually make little enough that I could probably be eligible for it myself, but I don't want it to be at the expense of our environment or our critical watersheds, especially a place like this. Another one to look into, this is a done deal. Like I said, you can check the minutes of the last Clinton Township meeting and see that this was already approved up here. The development's going in. But it's not too late for the other side of Route 31, which is across the river from the cemetery in Clinton. There's a big field right there. It's directly along the South Branch of the Raritan on the slope there. And that's being eyed for another development that's kind of being pushed through. And then you've got up along the Musconetcong River just outside of Hampton, they were pushing one too. So there's a lot of these exemptions are being made in areas that are wetlands, that are being allowed to be filled in, that are full of sinkholes. And even if you're not into the environment, our roads can't handle it. Our schools can't handle it right now. It's just too much for these areas without making massive improvements.
Mike, one thing I just wanted to say, and you know what, I mean, I have a vlog called What About New Jersey History. The podcast is starting next week, but one thing that you'd notice over the years, that it's always a constant battle between preservation with the highlands, you know, certain development interests. The battle is, it may look different, but it's always the same. I think a Star Ledger reporter once said that New Jersey will be the first state that's either built out or preserved. And right now all these vested interests are fighting. So we can't stop preserving properties to look onto something else. The fight to preservation and conserve must always continue, because in New Jersey, it will always be a constant battle. So, you know, that's always a big fight. So we should always be, you know, concerned about that, you know, always stay involved and speak out, you know, because this is New Jersey. We're the most densely populated state in the Union. So
it's the most important thing ever, and it's
sure
like I
is.
said, I can't reiterate enough that we have these two causes, and usually the people that are fighting for one are usually fighting on the side of the other two. And now these two things are being pitted against each other, and we just can't have that. And in this case, the environment has to come first. And developers are going to have to find another spot, or they're going to have to make exemptions and push it to an adjacent township or something like that. Find more appropriate places to put these developments and leave our critical watersheds alone, because we need this for drinking water. We need this for flood control if you're not into the environment. You know, there's sensibilities we need to have about all of this. So that's our rant on that for today. Thank you for watching. Come back and take a walk here when you get a chance, because it's really quite beautiful, and it's not going to be as beautiful in the near future. So
you know what, Mike, just to add, I mean, anybody that served on the councils or planning boards, they know that, think about when you plan for your future generations, you know, and that's what that should be above, you know, all else. What will future generations think of us?
well, hopefully they'll be happy with us for making these statements. Anyway, that's Riverfield Section of the South Branch Reservation. Maybe I'll come back when the water's a little lower and we'll give you a little more. Beautiful place, and let's keep these beautiful riverside places. Thanks for watching.